Hello, everybody. Hi there. Hope you can hear me. Here's Enrico speaking from the Reply headquarters in Turin. We are ready, yes, and live for the second progress webinar of the Reply Sustainable Investment Challenge. So welcome you all. It's a pleasure all over again to have you here. Of course, my honor to present you our second update progress moment for the Reply Sustainable Investment Challenge that started, as you can see, wrong side. As you can see here from the big roll-up behind me, it started on Monday, April the 19th, and will last until April the 30th for the first, the online qualification round aimed to select the best 100 traders. And as you know, this is a live event, completely live, so welcome if you're following us through challenges.reply.com website. You can, of course, interact with us by leaving your comment on the YouTube chat. And then, of course, hi to all the repliers following us through Chick Norris Television, our Reply reserved internal video platform. Hi there, say hi, raise your hands, and welcome again. We'll be live for the next 59 minutes. Because again, this progress webinar lasts 1 hour in order to welcome all of your feedback, questions, doubts related to this amazing online challenge, Reply Sustainable Investment Challenge. As always, I'm not alone. Together with me, many different guests. I aim to organize and design this challenge. So I would like to welcome all the people connected with me, starting from the Reply Titanium team. Hi there, hello everybody. I make the usual round of presentation. Hi there to Paolo Fabris, Titanium coach. Ciao, Paolo.
Ciao, Emilio. Hi, everybody.
Hi there, nice to have you together with us. Yeah, don't worry, no problem, because Emilio is there too. So ciao, Emilio.
Ciao, everyone.
And Paolo, to be honest, he's definitely more important than me. So better if you mention him than me. Absolutely. Ciao, Emilio.
Enrico, don't tell this.
No, come on. I'm serious. You are the man of the rules and the numbers, so I don't want completely to have this responsibility. And I like to welcome again two members of the Titanium team, because we highlight, of course, during our webinars, many different members of the team. So I'm happy to welcome Francesca Terrizzano. Ciao, Francesca. Can you hear us? Yes, maybe. Don't worry. It's 2020.
Hello,
just
everybody.
unmute yourself. Ciao, Francesca. Hi there. And another new addition to the team, Matteo Oldani. Ciao, Matteo.
Ciao. Hello to all. Nice to meet you digitally.
Yes, of course. Everything is online. That's, as usual, let me say, the representation of our team of repliers committed in realizing this challenge. As always, we stress this idea, this reality, not even just an idea. All the reply challenges, the code, the sustainable investment, the creativity one, the cybersecurity, and all the others who will join us in the future are made thanks to the repliers. So real people, existing people, designing inbound into reply the challenges that I've faced by so many repliers and so many thousands of our professional and students outside all over the world. But for the Reply Sustainable Investment Challenge specifically, we are not alone. We have a long list of partnership that helps Reply in realizing this challenge. And as you know, usual guest of those progress webinars is Maria Grazia Dossena, Head of Strategy in Banca Generali. Ciao, Maria Grazia.
Ciao. Hi, everybody.
Hi there. Pleasure to have you all over again with us today for our second appointment. I'm starting reminding all the guys connected that we will have other two next week on the 27th and on the 30th, if I'm right. So there will be other meetings together with us, guys. We are just in the middle of this long journey. And as always, a pleasure for me to be the host, let me say, to welcome you live with us. I see some comments already appearing from all over the world. Hello, Daniela from Brazil. Hi there. And so my turn right now to share with you some of the stats, let me say, the numbers that we have collected so far, and even to start again from the roots of this challenge. So I would like to ask the control room to share with us, thank you very much, these slides, these graphics that reminds again to all the people connected, if you are, let me say, a newbie into this adventure, if you know nothing about it, we are talking about the Reply Sustainable Investment Challenge, which is an online competition open to thousands of people all over the world. In our previous webinar, we remind all the people that we collected more than 14,000 registrations from more than 90 countries all over the world. So we kind of doubled the numbers of the first edition. And I would say we might be happy of it and proud of it, of course, thanks to all of your job during the registration campaign. The first round is the one we are living in right now, from the 19th to the 30th of April. And this online round is aimed to select the best of the best. So to select the 100 best players into this round and to meet all over again from the 12th till the 14th of May for the final round. Everything is fully online. Home of our challenge is challenges.reply.com, our website, the one you love and you already know quite kind of well. And at the end, what are we asking you is to learn how to invest your $1 million pretend money. So to do your best with these money, this treasure, let me say, and to show us your skills as a player, a trader, and a passion in finance, and to let us see how good you are in doing this. We have so many results out of it. Let me pass to the second slide. We collected so far in the first, we are around the fourth day of the challenge right here, because it's Thursday today and we started on Monday, more than 38,000 transactions so far, which is a huge number, even by comparing it to the money traded so far. We passed the billion, 1 billion, 2 million, $1.2 billion of money traded so far. And there is a news here. If you were with us in the first webinar, you see that there was just the 38% of players with a positive profit and loss, but today the number swapped. We have 62% of players with a positive profit and loss, and just 38% with a negative profit and loss. So that's another stats that Emilio, Paolo, would you like to add something about these swap of numbers?
Yeah, thank you, Enrico. Probably Maria Grazia could be more, let's say, effective on this, but I would say that the trend of the markets in these few first days of the week are supporting this trend, of course. About this, I would like to highlight another factor that we have seen among the different players. You are, as players, focusing on very, I would say, common stocks. If we look at the statistics of the most traded stocks, I would say we can find the usual suspects. Consider that on average, what you are choosing, we will see later down the road, the numbers are good picks, but you're focusing a lot on what I would say the very well-known companies without probably put a bit more fantasy on your choice mechanism.
Thanks for sharing, Paolo. So the stats we having, of course, yes, as you shared, the numbers we have right here are Esoldi numbers affected by the real markets moment. We are playing with real markets, and so I mean, of course, they are affected. The results are affected by where the market is going, and our players have to deal with the real situation, and that's. Based on the feedback, this is a good point out of our challenge. So we are, of course, happy to see that the results are reflecting this. I have another number to be shared with you guys, something that I kindly ask you to comment together with me. This is related specifically, let me say, to the sustainability topic, to the sustainable investment we are talking about. So we have these 3.223. That is the ESG average of our players' product. That is slightly, a bit, I mean, it's a sensitive difference, with the ESG average rating on Main Street platform. So the one we are using in order to check the ESG rating on overall the products. Why it is? It is a good measure in order to say that our players are doing it right. Matteo, would you like to comment it?
Yes, they are going right. It could be even better, but it's already right. It is a good result already to have 5% over the average. It's not so simple to have this kind of portfolio complying with ESG average. So it's already very good. So that's the direction, let's say.
All right, that's good. So we share this with the audience connected, and of course, I guess that by sharing your question, guys, players connected with us, share your question, your doubts, even by looking for some hint and tips, because we are here for that, definitely, to help you, to support you in your strategy, in your playing. So please don't waste your time. Specifically, take the best out of this opportunity to being connected with the guys designing the challenge and having, taking back the most, bringing the most out of this opportunity. There is another blue box here that I would like to comment. The player's portfolio rating is plus 5% compared to the average Main Street ESG rating. This is something where we have renamed, aka the Buy Good, Sell Bad Index. Emilio, would you like to better explain this?
Of course, Enrico. This index has the scope to understand if the players are in the right direction, so are investing good or are investing bad, of course. And the number can tell us that all the players, of course, on average, are investing, are studying the companies, are choosing where they have to invest. Why I'm telling this? Because if we look at data, yesterday we can tell that about 20 transactions have been made on average on the players. So only 6 more compared to the previous day. But on these 6, only 6 transactions, the quality of the portfolios really is really better. So I can tell you that this index is right, is good, and it means that all the players are making a really good competition.
Thank you, Emilio. So I'm assuming the Buy Good, Sell Bad Index will stay with us. So better to, taking in charge this concept. This is an invitation, of course, to all the players. And but this is, the challenge is, of course, a matter of learning and to showing your talent and your passion about finance and sustainability topics. But that's not at all. It's not only about this. It's even about the prizes. So let me remind that the prizes that are targeted, that are waiting for the podium of our challenge. We are talking about an online game that will give to the top 3 players at the end of our final round on May the 14th, 1 MacBook Pro for the first place, 1 iPad Air for the second ranked, and 1 pair of Apple AirPods Pro for the third in the podium. And that's, of course, to promote, to foster your capability of showing us your talent and being the best of the best out of, thousands of players. So we are really talking about the best of the best. And there are even other opportunities of sharing with us your passion about our challenge. You can look for on Instagram, look for the Reply Challenges account. And there you will find out our beautiful filter, Instagram filter that you can play with. You are invited in playing with it. By sharing a pic taken with our Instagram filter, you will plant a tree in our Reply Freedom Forest. So it's even an action of sustainability. We had a beautiful Freedom Forest thanks to the Freedom community, the Freedom platform, made by all Reply actions and activities addressing sustainability. If you want to contribute in planting your own tree, you have just to open up Instagram and taking a pic, sharing a pic, using our Instagram filter and tagging, of course, Reply Challenges so that we will know that you have done it. This is a kind invitation for all the players together with us. You can do it right here, right now. Share with us during the webinar your pick on Instagram. We can even share the best pick we got during the live. This is it for my onboarding presentation. Let me say as it is. So how to go? We are of course collecting questions from the audience. Please, guys, do it because, of course, it's a matter of sharing with us your doubts. I will go back to Paolo. You were asking to talk about liquidity. Is it something you want to underline? Please.
Very quickly. There's a huge amount of liquidity still sitting on the accounts of the players. So only a small parts of the players so far, let's say, use the majority of their liquidity. Having liquidity sitting there in the accounts is not providing you any good. So think how to invest and do it quickly, because times runs out, and you don't want to regret the fact that you didn't make the choice in advance, because otherwise you lose opportunities. Of course, you can invest also down the road, but as you know, time, value of money counts. So investing in the first is providing you more returns in terms of the global leaderboard, more than investing later.
Thank you, Paolo. And Emilio, yes, you were adding something.
Yes, of course, Enrico. I totally agree with Paolo. I would like to share with all our players a data. What is this data? That the 65% of the active players is investing less than the 75% of the available liquidity. What does this mean? We have to think about the algorithm. So the algorithm that will evaluate the player portfolio, and so the player position in the ranking, consider, of course, the profit and loss, of course, the dividends, but also the ESG parameter. And the ESG parameter is based on the invested counter value. So invest, guys, because only investing you can reach the target. Before I said that we are on the good road, but we have to keep the goal, I would say.
Sure. The audience is reminding me that today is a very special day as well, related with sustainability. We are talking about the World Earth Day, 22 of April. So yes, I would say it's something we definitely have to celebrate all together. Even, of course, talking about as a challenge that has sustainability in its title. There is a question related to it. Dejan is asking, how much do you think this special day will affect the market and ESG rating? So, in a matter of fact, can we expect that in this special day there is something changing because of the date itself in the markets and in ESG ratings? Who wants to take the answer?
I can answer.
Maria Grazia,
For
please.
the ESG
Sure.
ratings, the ESG ratings is not related to one day. Is related to the history and the results of the company in the history of the company. Usually, ESG ratings are controlled and managed quarterly a year. So one day it doesn't care about ESG rating. Maybe this day can affect the price of some companies, because these companies could be more or less related to the sustainability of our world, but not related to ESG ratings.
Thank you, Maria
It's
Grazia.
something that is stable, quite stable.
Sure, that's something worthy and wise to remind our players. We are not talking about an effect of one day, of course, and that companies, ESG ratings for each company are definitely related and linked with their story, and not that much with just one action. Even because otherwise we were just talking about greenwashing or something similar, I guess. Let's go on by taking questions and comments from the community. Paolo, I see there is something for you.
Yeah, thank you, Enrico. There was a question partially answered lower, but there's a player who is, let's say, stating that the game is not able to, the algorithm is not able to correlate the ESG rating of each company added to the portfolio. I have to disagree. The algorithms have been thought in order to to give advantage or disadvantage, depending on the ESG rating of each single company. So when we are going to evaluate the portfolio, profitability is only one of the parts that will be considered, and it's not going to be amplified by the ESG mechanism. So the vast majority of the mechanism is based on the investment value. So we are valuing more good ESG in terms of ESG rating companies and disadvantaging bad ESG companies. This one is the reason why we think we are going to positively correlate with ESG rating the portfolios of the players. If you want to, let's say, take more advantage of this correlation, you can use options. I've seen in the history of the questions that were some questions about options and their mechanism, and stating that the option usage is something tricky. Of course, options are a derivative product, so it's more complicated, more complex than usual stocks and bonds. But this is also what the challenge is about, learning something new. And that's the reason why, as we highlighted in the previous sessions of these webinars, there's I would say, wide section of the website where you can find learning material.
Since you mentioned that, Paolo, I would go back to, I mean, yes, we have two open points that we may cover. The learning section, maybe thanks to Francesca, but before I would involve all over again Emilio for, I mean, since you talked about, Paolo, the algorithm, we have the beautiful slide made by Emilio, the one with the algorithm description that I guess it's good to be shared all over again with the audience.
Of course, Enrico and Paolo, I think that I would like to share my screen because I think that this clarifies totally what Paolo was telling. So yeah, please tell me if you're able to see my screen.
We have it. You can go full screen.
Perfect. So what Paolo was saying, that of course we consider the profit and loss, the dividends, but also the ESG component. The ESG component, as you can see, is really a huge part of our criteria to evaluate the players. So please remember, as you said last time, Enrico, take a picture, a screen of this slide because can help you. So I invite you again, all the players, to make another screen if they were not in the previous webinar. So only this is the point.
Sure.
Okay.
We definitely suggest that, and of course there will be the recording of our webinar on YouTube, a Reply You channel that you have already into your favorites one. And there was another aspect that we may stress that is, of course, helpful for our players. There is the learning section present on challenges.reply.com. I would highlight it thanks to Francesca.
Thank you, Enrico. Yes, the learning section is composed by different flashcards. We have included some different topics. So we have basics of financial instruments and negotiation strategies. There are definitions of all the asset class that the players can negotiate during the challenge, that are fixed income, bonds, and options. So with reference to the options, the players can find some information about the definition of these financial instruments and how to negotiate through specific strategies on the platform. We have included also a card called How to Play the Challenge that includes the rules of the challenge and the underlying game mechanism. And the more important card is the sustainability. So we have included a specific card on this topic that represents the hot topic of the challenge of this year. and we have included some information about ESG rating and sustainability development goals.
Thank you, Francesca. We stress this all over again. The Sustainable Investment Challenge is something dedicated mostly to learn. I mean, it's a long, lifelong learning journey, and this is a milestone. Yeah, at least one step into this journey. So, guys, connected with us, go deep into challenges.reply.com in the learning section, because those materials are something aimed to help you in getting the information, the knowledge you need in order to play. And those, of course, are written, I would say, designed thanks to the contribution of all the repliers and the Reply Titanium team we have together with us here. We are already around the half of our webinar, so we are collecting questions. We'll be back to your question, guys, so stay with us because you all deserve an answer. But it's time right now to go back to Maria Grazia Dossena from Banca Generali. If you'd like, Maria Grazia, we are all focused on your market updates in order to help the players in going on with the competition.
Yes. As Paolo said before, the first day of the challenge, so Monday, was negative for the U.S. markets. But yesterday was a positive day. Today, the market started in a weaker mode, but at the moment is increasing. Well, something that is important when you choose equities to put in your portfolios is also to look at the day when they will publish the quarterly results, because we are in during these days there is the publication of the first quarter result of 2021. It is very, very important. Also, it is important to see if the results are published before the opening of the market day or at the end, because there could be a reflection in the prices the day after. I have also something other to say to you in order to help you to manage in a good way your portfolio and making a good choices. First of all, you have also to see if during the week there are important macroeconomic data that are published, because the market follow these results. If we expect very good results in terms of maybe PMI, that is an index that provides indication for the future development of industrial and service sectors in the US markets. It is important to see when this index will be published. What are the forecasts for this publication? So we expect good results or better results, because the day when it will be published, we can have a movement inside the markets. I also would like to give you some advice how to choose ESG companies, because I saw in the last webinar that the most used both equities was equities of the tech sector. I think that is good for you to look at the green economy markets. Look at companies that have business linked to green economy, to the green energy, something related to some interesting products in the healthcare markets. So you have to study different sector more linked to the green economy, and choose what you can think could be a good or the best company. It is not a good idea to focus only for the most well-known companies like Apple, Tesla, and something like this, because Tesla is good. It is could be interesting for an ESG point of view, but there are also more other companies could have a higher rank, ESG rank. So pay attention.
Thank you, Maria Grazia. I mean, thanks to the report that the control room is giving me, I can say that I don't know if it changed. I'm asking, of course, to support to Emilio and Paolo, but I see that maybe the situation of the technological market is kind of the top 10 most bought stocks are kind of the same for the technological area, but maybe there are two newbies that are Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson among the two kind of, changing maybe the scenario.
The healthcare market.
Healthcare market, exactly.
Okay.
Maybe the situation above the top 10 is changing and evolving. So this is something we can definitely have a look at in our progress webinar to see what are the top 10 traded stocks in our challenge. Thank you very much, Maria Grazia. Is there something you want to add?
No, at the moment, no.
Okay, thank you. Please, guys, again, we reached the half of our time. Share your doubts, share your question. The guys here, the Titanium team, Maria Grazia from Banca Generali, they're all here to answer your doubts. So don't be shy. Definitely, this is your chance in proposing your question. Where we can go. So right now, I can pass the word to Emilio. Is it the first question you want to answer?
Yes, of course, Enrico. But before the question, I have a point to discuss. It's a really brief one. Short selling is not allowed. This is only a point that I would like to share with you because we have received a lot of questions about this point. So I would only confirm to the players that short selling is not allowed. Only it is, Enrico, because it's quite important to make a good investment strategy and support the players, of course.
All right. Thank you, Emilio. I was seeing the list of questions appearing, and we can bring the first one, guys. The one related to the bonds. Do you agree, Paolo? How about investing on bonds? A question from Daniela Hurtado. How to know if there are green bonds?
Okay, yes, for sure, you can invest on bonds. Green bonds are bonds issued by companies that have a good ESG rating. Here, there are 2 points. The first one, remember that ESG is not only rated to green. Okay, there are also the S and the G when you're talking about ESG. So bear in mind also this part. Secondly, I might think to invest in good ESG bonds while, for example, having a wider strategy designed. So if you think that you get a good ESG company, but you want to diversify, for example, you might buy the first set of stocks of this good ESG company, and you might buy also some bonds. Bonds might be useful for you to park your liquidity while you're waiting to find out other companies where to invest in. In this way, you are using the same ESG rating of the company to value your investment in bonds while reducing the volatility of part of your investment. Doing this, you're not going to have your liquidity just parked in the account, and you're taking advantage on at least of the first and the most important of the 2 main drivers, the ESG rating driver. Of course, you're giving up the duration driver, but I would say, who cares? That would have been gone anyway. So at least take advantage of the first one. Going back to the other point that you raised, Emilio, yes, consider a wide range, and as Maria Grazia said, of companies. 7 out of 10 of the most trading companies are tech companies. The way companies that are they become a buzzword. Because if I look at the list, we're talking about Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, and so on, Google, etc. So there are nearly 1,000 companies in the whitelist. So have a look and be a bit more creative in doing this. Probably also the hints that you will receive in the next days will support you in understanding where you might head to. So, there's a mechanism that we set up in order to propose new ideas on this. And I guess Francesca can tell a bit more about that.
Sure,
Yeah, thanks,
Francesca.
Paolo. Thanks, Paolo. Thanks, Enrico. Yes, we on a daily basis we try to diversify the news that we publish. For example, today we have published news about the downgrading of ESG rating of JP Morgan. The ESG rating of JP Morgan is passed from adequate to non-compliant one. So this is due to the sponsorship of European Super League. So in this case, the value of the S of ESG rating of JP Morgan, so the social component, is dropped dramatically. So and other example, today we have published also two different news about Zoom, one negative and one positive. The first one is about the accusation against an executive of the company to have censored video meetings concerning one important events in China. And the positive news is about the announcement of new feature of the Zoom platform that is aimed at monitoring the carbon emission. So this example to explain that it's important to be aware that the news that we published is not to mean that the company is positive or negative, but is to incentive the players to think about the specific company.
Sure. I like very much the suggestion, of course, to being creative and thinking out of the box, or let me say, out of the usual boundaries of what you may see as a good, not as a good investment, but the usual investment. Let me say, they're always growing or something like this. So, guys, here we are talking about these to look for news to better try to understand how to invest your 1 million per $10 into the best ways. I would pass the word to Matteo. If I'm right, guys, please correct me, for something in some integration about this, right, on ESG.
Yes, on ESG about the rating and so on, you can see on the main website, a lot of daily basis news that regard what is called green recovery, digital and green recovery, to complete with the component of before. So there are a lot of news, and not only that, you can find also some website very correlated to our challenge, and there is somehow some discovery also on some part of the ratings and the composition. So if you look well, you can find a lot of rating agency. And moreover, what I would say regarding ESG, that is something like that is future is now. So it's something like that. ESG you can find in big number of news. So you have a lot of source of information. Also on non-common companies, as Francesca was said before. So you can find also that one.
That's it. I was scrolling the questions coming from the audience. There was a comment about, please guys help me if there is something I'm missing. Anyhow, there was one comment about the Pfizer and J&J, Johnson & Johnson comment we make. Shahir was saying, don't think of Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson. Check the list of the whitelisted company and search via their symbols on MarketWatch or Yahoo Finance. or you can just search for ESG rankings. That is, yes, of course, I mean, something to do in order to improve your way of playing. And that's absolutely, I guess, the way we are suggesting you to inform yourself and to try to do the best for your investment.
Yeah, probably, Enrico, this is more related to the fact that, as we said in the beginning, we are, I mean, it's normal, but people are generally focusing on the usual suspects. Pfizer and J&J are, of course, on the eye of everybody today. So the eye of the storm. So of course, when you're thinking about different markets in the US, you're thinking either tech or pharmaceutical nowadays. So pharmaceutical meaning J&J and Pfizer. But just to give you some ideas, think on whatever can happen on the Merck or Eli Lilly business due to this situation. Just to make an example, I mean, so as Francesca said, think out of the box and try to be more creative in looking over a market that is really, really wide. And try to look, as Matteo said, from different sources, you can understand whether the company is a good catch or not, and under the ESG point of view. And doing this, you can for sure identify something that is not going to give you a big swing in terms of day-by-day evaluation. But as we said, this is not your main focus. Your main focus is the investment. So don't lose time in looking for P&Ls. You have to look at good ESG companies, and this is going to give you value over time.
I would leverage on a comment made at the beginning of our webinar by our friend Piyush Goenka. My bad, I'm sorry if I haven't pronounced it yet properly, sorry. But he was asking, should I invest in Bitcoin or Dogecoin? That's, the trending topic we haven't touched so far, if I'm right. And that's something maybe we can discuss a bit about. I don't know if there is a common line above you all, but as far as I know, in a matter of environment and sustainability, cryptocurrencies are something really affecting the energy consumption and so even the production.
Negative.
Exactly.
Yes.
I stumble upon a news in which they say the wool cryptocurrency production is right now requiring more energy than Argentina. So that's something that already it's kind of strange, not the way I guess that the footprint, the sustainable, specifically today for the World Earth Day, I guess this is something that is worthy to share. But staying in our challenge, what would you answer to our friend? Should he invest in Bitcoin or Dogecoin or in general the cryptocurrency world?
I can answer.
Please.
First of all, Bitcoin and Dogecoin at the moment, I think that in the number, the possible company where you can invest, I don't think you can invest directly in these cryptocurrencies. Paolo can correct me if I am wrong. But also I have to add, because also last week there will be the first quotation of Coinbase in the US stock exchange. That is the most important cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. But if you look at this company from an ESG point of view, I agree with what we said before, that for the mining of cryptocurrency there is a very strong use of energy, and this is not a good thing for a ESG point of view. So it's not the most interesting company where you can invest if you want to increase your ESG rating, I believe.
That's it. That's it. I would definitely agree, even in in a matter of discussion about the future of our investment in general, even because the cryptocurrencies are something trending among even the younger generation. I have again read the news about how many young US kids are already owning Bitcoins or Dogecoins or whatever. So. That's something in general that we may have a look at. Emilio, I see you were sharing another news in our private chat about the number of ESG products managed.
Yes, of course, Enrico. And I totally agree with what Maria Grazia said now. And I have to say that the players are following their advices. Why I'm telling this? Because as you know, we have a wait list of about 1,000 products, okay? And I have to say that 90% of these products had at least one transaction on it. From the other side, only 60 products out of our whitelist has been traded at least one time. So what we are saying, that the players are focusing on the ESG. And this is what Maria Grazia was telling before. So this is important and is a proof of that.
Yeah, we passed the message, and so we might be happy out of it. But I guess that even it's a long queue. There is a long queue or of products managed maybe just one time, and the top of our stocks are related mainly to the tech area. So again, the contribution to the discussion is this one, and maybe guys, by looking for better products, you may even improve your results. Paolo, there was a question you want to take charge of.
Yeah, thank you, Enrico. It was a question from Nico, who was asking how many data providers you have to look at in order to get the ESG rating. The point is not that more information is better than good information. So probably and hopefully Main Street won't punch me on the nose for this, but there are many info providers related to ESG ratings. I wouldn't say that they are all the same, because it's not true. You have several rating providers for the companies, so you can choose among Fitch, Standard & Poor's, Morgan
MCI.
Excuse me? MCI. So you have a lot of them. And roughly, if Fitch says that the company is a AAA, for sure it's not going to be a default or a junk company for Standard & Poor's. So the direction is going to be exactly the same. Of course, there are different shades, I would say, when evaluating the different companies. And these shades might show up when you're looking at different aspects. Everybody, as we said in the beginning, is concentrating on the E side. In the last webinar, Elisabetta stressed a lot the fact that we have also to take care about the S and the G. So do that and look at all the aspects that we need to take care of. I think we stressed this fact a lot in our training material and in all the communication we presented. So remember that if I find a rating company that is providing Apple, just to make an example, but just a very casual one, that says that Apple is a very good company for environment because everything is recycled, etc. But it's not going to be a good company for the S side, for example. I don't know. I don't really know. But the overall rating is going to be probably good, but not the best one.
Sure.
Okay. The same for Tesla or Microsoft and the usual suspects. So you have to be very, very careful in evaluating the whole picture on one side, but don't lose that much time in looking for several providers of the same information. Otherwise, you're focusing on the wrong direction. I don't know if I made myself clear on this.
Isn't it that the more we are connected with the brand, I see, Netflix, Apple, the many you have already, Google, of course, as we Alphabet, the parent company. Is it, I don't know, just my curiosity, it might be affected by the brand perception we have, okay? That
yes, of course.
Not directly maybe related with the ESG rating. The one thing is the brand that is mostly relevant for the marketing. That is a good thing, of course. Brands need marketing, but maybe we are missing a real point, and the real stuff out of it.
I agree with you, Enrico. I had something and to reflect also on Amazon. How Amazon governance, attention, pay attention. How they are working paid at Amazon. There are some problems in Amazon about the employees, the workers, and so on. It is important.
Sure. So, guys, we are asking you, the audience of this webinar, of course, the community of players in our challenge to again to look for the best and to measure yourself out of your quest of the best ESG rated companies. There was something that sorry if I miss a point, Matteo, would you like to add something, right?
Yes, I would like to add something that ESG rating is still under process, so it's a long term. And if you take care about how ESG rating are right now, they show there is a correlation of around 60% through the different provider. Instead, the traditional rating is a correlation around 99 to 100% of correlation, so are more or less the same. While on ESG rating, there is still the component of normalized ESG rating. It's not the case that more or less at the beginning of the year, the European Supervisor Authority together has asked to give a unique line and give also this component. The first step has been done yesterday, not about the rating, but it has published the first delegated act on the taxonomy. So you can find a unified taxonomy in Europe. So it's a long-term work in progress, but it's the direction, from my point of view, this point of ESG and sustainability, let's say.
Thank you, Matteo. Last minutes for our second progress webinar of the Reply Sustainable Investment Challenge. So, guys, yes, thank you to the control room. We can remind you all that the next webinars will be next week on April the 27th and April the 30th, our final webinar for this online round. And then out of it, of course, we'll be able to select the best 100 players that will access the final round planned on May 12th to the 14th. So we are around the middle of our online round, not already there. First 30%, 40% of it. And I see that on the temporary leaderboard that we publish on daily basis, there are, of course, already some changes, both on the two sides, because I guess I'm doing a good point in reminding the people connected with us in this webinar that we have a ranking, a leaderboard for the external players, the thousands of external players, and then a leaderboard for the internal, the repliers, because there is a parallel challenge on the replier side, open just to the reply employees, and they're having a lot of fun in playing. I definitely know that. Of course, they are invited in following the webinars as well, because the stuff we are discussing about are open to them as well. So, guys, even in reply, please get in touch with us. And if you have questions for our mates and your colleagues, you can, of course, address them some doubts that you have. The last minute. So I say, yes, Emilio, please.
Yes, Enrico. No, I would like to tell only another thing about the leaderboards. Of course, there is one for the repliers, and another for all our players. But of course, remember that there are two leaderboards for each side, a global and a daily one. The global, of course, is the one that considers all the past days, everything you have done during your challenge. But of course, there is also a daily ranking. This is really important because it helps you to understand who is going better with the performance, of course, on both sides of ESG and the profit and loss, of course, because every aspect, every side of the coin is important. But it's important to remember also the daily ranking, because it can give the energy to all the players that had a not so good performance and would like to change the methodology they are applying. So it's important, Enrico.
I see, as you were saying, Emilio, that even in our chat today for the webinar, players are exchanging strategies and commenting each other and even answering each other the doubts that they may have.
I think, Enrico, that they did not told everyone the investments they had made.
I think so. It's a strategy.
You think, Enrico? Yes.
You will not disclose the cards you have in your hand. Definitely.
I think I would have not done so, but I am not a player, so
no, that's it.
Everyone can do everything they want.
Yep. Okay, so last minutes for our webinar. Is there something that you want to stress, guys? Please let me know. I was looking at the schedule that we gave us, and maybe it would be time to Matteo. There was something that we already discussed about, but a question we had received might be about what do you say to those who say ESG and sustainability are just a hoax? And that what matters at the end of the day is just profit. What might be the answer to this?
Yes, I will say that, as you can see from the news, from the recovery plan, that money are going in that direction, and that something like 60% of the GDP is moving in the direction of green and digital recovery. So if governors are moving money on this kind, and as well as doing the component of investment firms, you can imagine how many money and value there is behind on that part. So it's not just but there is a lot of money. And also the example I would take is the example of Nokia or the example of Kodak regarding the digital camera or the smartphone. Both, they don't believe in this disruption transformation. And what happened to them? Nokia was acquired and Kodak is restructuring now. So
that's it. Yeah, that's something we all know about. In the meanwhile, Ivren say greetings from Bologna as leader in global so far. So I guess we have right here the guy on top of the leaderboard. Please, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe it's just a hoax comment from our friend here. There was another question, maybe for Maria Grazia. What comes first in sustainability, practice or policy?
Or policy, practice.
Yes.
Practice. Yes.
Better
no, because policy. You usually it starts with policy, but the policy should be followed by the practice. You have to see in the market that there is some behavior from the company. Other side is something that is not true. It's something is a dream, but it is not real. So for ESG, from an ESG point of view, it should be a real thing.
Sure. Another question coming from our friend Nico. Does the ranking list that we are provided with include or not the ESG score point? Emilio?
Unfortunately, is not included because this is part of the game and the players should study. I am afraid to tell that to figure it out how to solve the enigma, I would say.
All right. There is another comment made by our friend Alexandro saying the formula was a game changer, so we can be proud out of to share, let me say, to help our viewers, even because not all the players are connecting with us in looking at those webinars, and we can definitely, I guess, suggest them to do it because I was used to it at university. In some exams, I don't know if you had the same experience, but the professor just shares something about the exam for the students in front of them. If you were going to the lessons, the professor give you back something about the exam, and the ones that are not coming to the lesson, of course, they were unaware of the question. It happens. You have the same experience?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if Paolo is doing the same with the guys in his team.
No.
Reply.
Never.
By coming in the office, you will learn something. If
As
otherwise,
you can see, I'm not in the office right now.
that's it. That's the situation.
Francesca and Emilio are much more serious than me, and
No, that's the situation. You are perfectly balanced, I would say. Paolo and Matteo homeworking, Francesca and Emilio in the office. So you are the 50% we can deal with right now, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, we reached the end of our webinar for today. I see that the comments are coming in. And so, of course, thank you very much to the whole community of players connecting with us today for our second progress webinar of the Reply Sustainable Investment Challenge. As say many times, we'll be back next week on April the 27th at 5 p.m. Central European Solar Time, together with our panel of experts and with you, of course, the community of players, in order to discuss and to share your question and possibly get some hints, tips and tricks about the challenge. Thank you very much, guys. I would like, of course, to say all over again, thank you to Maria Grazia Dossena, Head of Strategy at Banca Generali. Thank you, Maria Grazia.
Ciao.
Have a nice evening, and we'll be back next week. And of course, thank you very much to Francesca, Emilio, Matteo, and Paolo Fabris, part of the Reply Titanium team. And I would say again, thank you to the whole team made by a lot of guys that are working on this challenge since months in order to give you the best experience of playing in this beautiful topic. Thank you very much, guys.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
We'll be back
Bye.
next week. Thank you all. Ciao. Goodbye.